Hey y'all, I'm Shayna. If you're new here, I'm reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 16. And this episode was funny to me at the end, so you're definitely going to want to stay to the end. But let's get right into it. So we start with Ace, Candy's son, and he's rehearsing for his acting gig. You know, the Bird's genes are strong. She getting him started early. Then we get with Marlo. She's speaking to her sister Crystal about her nephews because they're coming back home. The 30 days is up, so it's time for them to come home. She claims she misses them, so she's ready for them to come back. Now Marlo's sister is saying they don't do their chores and, you know, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Marlo's speaking about therapy for the three of them. I think she should get therapy for the three of them because there's been a lot of changes for them. Just when they were starting to get comfortable, here she goes again uprooting them. So that's yet another change. And, you know, she needs therapy, I think, for herself to overcome everything she's gone through. That way, you know, we can get to the root of why she really kicked them boys out in the first place. So hopefully that helps them. We know she's making steps, so we're just going to see what she does going forward. So Drew had surgery. We know that she hurt her ankle in Jamaica. Ralph touched her foot just to see if she could feel it. She said she doesn't feel anything, but she was wiggling her toes. So, you know, you never know what to believe with Drew. But y'all are hard on Drew. And I must say, I am liking Drew this season, especially compared to some of the other peach holders. Drew can say, in my opinion. So we move on and we see that Charae and Saya come over to visit Drew, and they're the first ladies to give her a visit and check on her. They're filling Drew in on what happened on the last dinner in Jamaica because Drew couldn't make it. So, you know, they're talking about the debate, and Saya knows that Kenya got the best of her. She admitted it. She said, in my mind, I thought I was winning, but baby, you was losing. But she knows it, so we don't got to keep riding her on it. She already know. Charae goes and tells Saya what Kenya said when they were on the water raft about Ross being a bit aggressive. So, you know, Saya doesn't hesitate. That's her husband. So she didn't waste any time. She called Kenya right then and there. And she's like, you know, Charae said you was talking about me. I heard you was talking about my husband. And Kenya's, you could tell she's waking out of her sleep. But she's like, what? Like, I'm going to call you back. But, you know, Saya brings it up again. And she's like, oh, you know, cat got shit tongue. You don't got nothing to say. And Kenya's like, I don't remember saying aggressive. I remember her saying it. But if that's how she feel, that's how she feel. My feelings, I don't think that he was being aggressive. But I think he could have stayed out of women's business. But what I'm feeling right now is Charae is playing both sides and ain't nobody calling her out on it. We're going to call Charae out on her fakeness. It's season 14. It's time. So Drew ends up falling asleep on him. She like, look, I ain't got time for the drama. I'm tired. So we move on and we see that Charae has hired Rhoa, and we saw her a couple episodes back saying that she was going to help with the fashion show. Charae also invited Kenya to help with the models, which is ironic because you sure did pick a fine time to throw her under the bus right before you needed her help. So Kenya already is frustrated, seemingly, with Charae's nonchalant, lackluster attitude about this fashion show. You know, she says that, she's like, why didn't you tell me? I would have posted it on my page, which has, you know, we know that Kenya has millions of followers. And she's like, I would have had the model cast in the line would have been down the block and wrapped around the corner. Why didn't you say something? So Rwanda's like, you know, she wanted it to be on the down low. And Kenya's like, no, we don't need it on the down low. You need models, which I agree with. I mean, Kenya knows what she's talking about now. This seems right up her alley, and Kenya can still give the girls a run for their money today. So let's not act like Kenya can't. I mean, she could walk the fashion show if she wanted to. I don't know why I guess Charae don't got the coin for Kenya. So Rwan was like, point blank period, Charae don't got the money for no real models. End of story. So we gonna have to take what we can get. So, you know, they go ahead and the models are starting to walk and they're too short. They're getting shorter and shorter each model. They don't have the model's information on the cards. Rwan and Kenya are going back and forth because they're both annoyed with each other at this point. It's giving unprofessional. And while they're going back and forth about it, they seem to care more than Charae does because she didn't say a word. We have some males modeling, you know. So then, as they're speaking about the lack of income to provide for real models, Charae said that she spent $1 million already. And maybe she spent a good penny over the course of 14 years. But honey, if you want to do it, then do it. Or just don't do it at all. Move on. Do something else. So we see Ralph, and he's doing a photo shoot for his book. And, they're speaking about the adoption again because Drew's mom is upset that he changed his mind. He's saying he wants Josiah's input. And I agree. I said the same thing a few reviews back that they should get his input. Josiah is not a baby and he should decide what he wants to do. His father is just, still pretty freshly getting out of prison. So, he should have a say in what he wants. At the end of the day, we're not going to keep acting like his father doesn't have rights. Like he said, yeah, if you want to, you can adopt him. We don't know if y'all will go through the whole process and his father will say, no, I'm not signing over my rights. And then all that for nothing. At the end of the day, he can still be a father to him without adopting him. And his biological father can play a role as well. They both, it doesn't take away. He's in the house. He's raising him. He's there for him. I don't like what she said last season about Ralph treating Josiah differently than their two children they have together. But as long as he's treating them all the same and he loves them the same, I think it's fine. That's just my personal opinion though. So then Drew said that Charae called her and they wanted to do a joint birthday party for Kenya and Marlo. And I'm thinking, what kind of idea is that? Kenya can't stand Marlo. But, we'll see how it goes. So Marlo's nephews are back and we see her assistant is doing homework with them. I think since they just got back, I don't know why Marlo has so many assistants. But besides that, I think Marlo should be taking that time and helping them. Just doing that stuff with them, not putting it off on somebody else. You're always putting everything off on everybody else. Like, you spend that time with them. It matters. But they're just happy to be back home, have their own beds, have their own space and bathrooms. They really need their own bedrooms. But, they're happy to be back because, it's tight in there. 6 kids, 2 adults in a 2-bedroom apartment. I can imagine. So they're happy to be back. They're relieved. We move on and Charae gets to Drew's house because, we're about to have the surprise birthday party. So Drew has said that Charae hasn't really been involved. And she's like, you know what, but I did everything. I have your invoice. Half is XYZ. I think it was like $12,000 or something like that, or $1,200. I think it was like $1,200. Charae doesn't want to pay. She said she wouldn't have done all this extravagant stuff. But wait a minute. When Sonya threw your party with those Party City balloons, it wasn't good enough. Now she don't want to pay. So Charae, we already know she's not going to pay. Drew is feeling away. They're kind of arguing back and forth, which is not good right before the party. No pay. Charae is making up excuses. So whatever. Charae gets a call from her friend in Cali because her friend is supposed to be helping her with the fashions. Her friend is saying that the fashions are not as promised, and I think she should just cancel it all and stop talking about this dang on fashion line. I don't care anymore, and I don't want to hear about it. We already gave Charae tips and told her she should do fitness and this and that. She don't want to do it. She lazy. So everybody's showing up to the party, including Marlo's friends. I didn't know she had friends. She has friends, and Kenya's cousin. So Kenya saw Marlo because they're walking in at the same time, and she let the door close in her face. But they walk in, and they are actually surprised, and it came together nicely thanks to Drew and not Charae. And I find it funny that they're both Aquarius. Like, they have so much in common. You would think they would get along, but that's probably why they don't get along, because they have, one too many things in common with each other. So, the party is going, and it's just giving intervention at this point. And even Kenya's like, is this a party or an intervention? Well, that's what it feels like. So they decided to play a shady game. And I think the first question was, what would you do if your husband, basically talking about Ross and Sonya. And Sonya was like, I would say, and they're like, girl, just get to the shade. Sonya should have prepped with her shadiness before she got on this show. I heard Sonya had a show before. I don't know what that was about. I don't think it was shady, though. She need to work on the shade. She need to read class. Phaedra Parks need to step in and teach her how to read. But she was like, you wish you had a husband, you know, like mine, that would defend you like mine do. And, you know, everybody laughed and the chair fell back and it was just dramatic. And Kenya's like, you know, we like each other, but in her confessional, she's like, if I didn't sin for you, don't come for me. And I ain't heard that in a while, so Sonya better watch out. So Drew calls out no pay Charae for not paying her half of the party. And everybody's like, oh, well, we already know Charae don't pay. So then Charae starts making up excuses, talking about her fashionless fashion line. And Kenya's like, but you got on the $7,000 Louis V sweater. And okay, you could have took that, and surely that could have at least put a little dent in what Drew had to spend on this party by herself. So, you know, at this point, I'm just tired of talking about the joggers. I'm thinking about Dwight. That Dwight gonna live rent free, and as long as Charae is trying to get this fashion line off the ground, Dwight should just be getting paid just for that one line alone for the rest of his life. So, you know, Kenya also mentions that, you know, her model casting was a disaster. And I was like, ooh, girl, it ain't looking good at all. So we end with Charae meeting with Apollo about modeling for this non-existent fashion show. But we get to the real point of her wanting to vent about her jail bae Tyrone. Because, you know, Apollo's complaining that Phaedra left him. And where's the shocking that? Rightfully so. I mean, there's some things I like about Phaedra, some things I don't, but I don't blame her on this one. But, and then, you know, he's telling Charae, like, don't listen to that jail talk. Like, that's all it is. They got 10 different women they giving that talk to pass the time. And he's been in there for years. And the minute you get out 2 episodes in, then you lost your storyline that quick. So, but I'm like, isn't that a contradiction? I know Phaedra was his wife, but she's a lawyer. She might not be the best, but she know, like he know, what they be up in there doing and telling lies and everything else. Plus, you know, just the embarrassment and shame was enough for her to walk away. He said he'll do the fashion show. He still got it. He still look good after all these years. That ain't gonna be enough though, Charae. It's not gonna be enough. She said at the party that she don't have no design. She has nothing. And she's gonna have 100 people there, and it's in a week. So they show a clip for the preview for next week. So something's gonna happen. Will it be a success? Who knows? What we know right now in today's current time, that website is not up and running. And you're too busy going behind Martell Hope when you need to be focusing on your next storyline, because it can't be She by Charae. We can't go into season 15 talking about this. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we should give her peach to somebody new. Bring some new flavor up into the show. Like, let's get somebody new up in here. But let me know what y'all think. Let me know how y'all feeling. Are y'all thinking that her fashion line is going to be a success? How do you feel about her not paying yet again? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, share. And most of all, subscribe. It's free and it will definitely help me, a baby YouTuber, out. So I appreciate it in advance. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.